Okay, guys. Sorry about my voice. I have COVID. It sucks. But really want to share with you some stuff about the mirror modifier. Look at this alien head. It's obviously mirrored across the wrong axis. Okay. Why is that? Well, we're going to take a look at all these notes. We got to look at the Npanel, okay? When I look at the Npanel on the right, we see that rotation values are not zeroed out. If I type in 0 to zero it out, it actually physically rotates this head, and I don't want that. I want to keep this exactly where it is. So what we do is we use CTRL A, and this actually this is called applying the rotation. Okay, and when you apply the rotation, it actually zeroes out those values while keeping the model exactly how it looks in 3D space. So I hit Control A and I apply the rotation. Look, it zeroed it out without rotating it. Now when I turn on the mirror modifier, it's not correct yet, but at least it's mirroring across the correct axis, okay? Why is it not correct yet? Well, look at this orange dot. It's not actually centered in 3D space. It's not centered at along the z-axis at 0, 0, 0. It's kind of offset there. So what we have to do is we have to hit Shift C to center the cursor, and then you right click over the model and change the origin to the 3D cursor. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna let's say my 3D cursor was somewhere else. If you hold Shift and right click, you can change the position of the 3D cursor. I'm gonna hit Shift C and it brings the 3D cursor back to 0, 0, 0. Now when I right click over the model, I can choose Set Origin to 3D cursor. That moves that orange dot right to where I want to mirror the object. And now when I turn on the mirror modifier again, it's actually mirrored going across. I like to check clipping because currently I can actually move vertex points and edges and faces across that line of axis. I don't actually want that. Let's say I leave a little bit of a gap there, but if I check clipping, I can't actually cross that line of symmetry, and that's actually better for me. Okay, so I always check clipping as well. I feel like clipping should be on by default. All right, let's do another exercise to reinforce all these 6 bullet points. All right, here's the model of a gun, and I'm going to add a mirror modifier. Okay, oh no, that doesn't look right. Okay, it is actually mirroring across the right axis, but why could this rotation be so off? Well, if you look at the rotation values, they're not zeroed out. So of course we hit Control A, apply the rotation. Okay, it's just a good habit also to make sure that your scale is at 1, 1, 1. There's also a little gap here. Okay, there's a little gap in between, and that's because the origin probably isn't in the right spot. So I hit Shift C, make sure the cursor is at 0, 0, 0. Then I right click, set origin to 3D cursor, and that looks better. Still a little bit of a gap, and let me just hit Shift A, Control A, sorry. Scale is set to 1, 1, 1, and I'm going to disable the mirror modifier real quick. Tilde, front view, and I'm zooming in real close to the z-axis, and you can see there's a little bit of a gap. So what do I do here? Make sure you switch to edit mode. That way you don't affect the actual origin of this object. I'm going to select all of the faces. See, I'm in face mode. I hit the letter A to select all the faces, and then I'm going to hit G. I tap X, and then I use my left arrow key, and I just move all the faces closer to the center here. Okay, really, really close. That's good enough. And that's how you move all your faces without changing the actual origin. Okay, and then finally a third example to have you practice everything again. Here's a canoe or a boat. Let's take a look at the mirror modifier. All right, there's my mirror modifier. At least it's mirroring across the x-axis, but That's not actually how it's supposed to look. Rotation should be zeroed out. Control A. Applied it. Let's make sure scale is also applied. It's a good habit. Shift C, put the cursor in the right spot. Right click, set origin to 3D cursor, and there's a little bit of a gap. It's going to help if I disable the mirror modifier. Hit tilde, go to front view. Tab to go to edit mode. I'm in face mode. I hit Alt A to deselect everything, then I hit A to select everything again. And I just want to move everything closer to the Z axis. So GX. If I use my mouse, it's just too it's too sensitive. So I'm using my arrow keys to nudge it. Okay, and I can actually tell that the rotation is a little bit off as well. That could end up causing some problems. So I'm also going to just hit R and just rotate a little bit. Okay, that's a lot better. And now when I turn on the mirror modifier and check clipping, there's still a little bit of a gap. So since I check clipping, it's really no big deal if I just hit GX and then I just use my mouse and slide it. And you can kind of like push it in. That's, clipping is turned on, so you can't really go across the line of axis, but you might actually crush a lot of your vertex points. So I think it's better to, I'm going to top view as well. And you got to just make sure that the model, this is a good exercise to kind of clean things up. You got to make sure all the vertex points and everything are like aligned to the global axes, okay? Watch what I do here. Sorry if this is boring, but it's really important to learn how to troubleshoot and get perfect accuracy for a lot of your modeling. What I'm going to do here is select one vertex point, tilde, view selected. Okay. When I zoom in close, the view clips off and I can't see everything. So what I'm going to do is go to view, clip start. I want to give myself a little more space, so put a 0 in front there. And now when I zoom in close, it doesn't clip, okay? What I'm going to do is hold down Alt and click on an edge, and what that does is selects all these edge vertex points. Okay, look at all those vertex points I selected. And what I'll do is I need them all aligned, so I hit S, X, 0, and what it does is it scales the distance between all these vertices down to 0, so there's no actual X space, there's no gap along the X-axis, and that's called aligning. And then I can hit GX and use my arrow keys to just nudge these across, okay? I know that might not have made total sense to you, so let me just do a quick demonstration here. Sorry if this is boring for some people, but it's really, really important to me. Okay. So let's say you have a bunch of vertex points that aren't aligned. Well, if I hold down, if I just select all these vertex points and I hit S for scale, Z for the Z-axis, okay, so I'm actually scaling the distance between all of these vertex points along the Z-axis, and then I hit 0, SZ0 will flatten out those points, and I did that on the canoe along the X-axis. All right, and that's how you can make sure that your model is going to look correct with the mirror modifier. So now I hit GX and just try to close that gap, okay? All right, these are some things that you can practice on your own. Try to get the mirror modifier applied. All right, thanks for watching. All right, here's the notes again.